Hi, everybody. I'm Kiva Schuler, founder and CEO here at the Giant Institute for Parenting. And I'm so excited today to be sharing a conversation with you with one of our amazing graduates, Kim Muench. Kim, when did you graduate from JI? How long have you been working as a JI certified parenting coach?
I graduated in mid 2016 and started my business right then, Real Life Parent Guide. And I absolutely know that I was called to do it.
I think that's a very common thing that I hear in talking to our coaches. It's like, I've started joking in some of our marketing saying, you had me at hello, because oftentimes people will come in and say, as soon as I saw that JI was a thing, I just knew that this was the direction I wanted to go in. Had you been looking to become a parenting coach? What were you doing before you did
Oh,
this?
gosh. Honestly, it's kind of an interesting story. So I had what I call my parenting wake up call in May of 2008. I have 5 kids, and they're at this point they're between 15 and 33 years of age. But at the time of 2008, my oldest was 20 years old, and we had moved from our home state of Wisconsin down to Texas for my husband's job. But he stayed in Wisconsin because he started college and had a girlfriend and whatever. Well, in May of 2008, he called me one evening and he said, Mom, I don't remember the last 3 days of my life. I've been in a blackout and I need help.
Wow.
And I had some inklings of this, and there were some, definite hindsight being what it is. But I could no longer deny what was going on with that phone call. And that phone call started about 2 years of some major ups and downs for us, for our parenting relationship, for me navigating what it looked like to parent a child in addiction, for me looking really looking at how I was parenting and the way I had been parented. I had him when I was 18 years old. So it was a major upheaval in my life. And it's interesting how he was about the same age when he had this major upheaval in his life. Regardless, I decided when he went into inpatient treatment that I wanted to become a licensed chemical dependency counselor and help teenagers. So I went back to college. I got a degree in psychology. I ended up passing the Texas state exam and starting on my 4,000 internship hours. About 1,000 hours in, I decided helping teenagers who do not want to be helped and don't think they have a problem is really not my calling. I really enjoyed, though, getting to know parents and supporting them while their kids were in treatment. So right about that time, interestingly enough, or oddly enough, who knows?
Magically.
Yeah, divine intervention. I saw an ad on Facebook for JI Institute. And so I started looking at that and looking at some other, first of all, I didn't know parent coaching was even a thing.
Right? People say that all the time. They're like, this is a thing? I had no idea.
Who knew? And I think it's becoming way more prevalent at this point. Back in 2016, I really didn't know anything about it, but I did know that I wanted to help parents, and I wanted to help parents proactively. I wanted to help them before there was a crisis situation. Now, to be honest with you, most parents are like me and don't get the help they need until they are in a crisis mode. But regardless, my goal, my intention, all of my work is done with regard to being proactive and helping parents stop white knuckling it and to embrace the kids who have come through them or to them into their lives for who they are and not who they need them to be. So I went through the JI program in 2016, and knowing that I wanted to work exclusively with parents of adolescents, so middle school, high school, and young adults, that was my goal because my kids were that age. And I felt it was really important, not only because I think parents feel like it's too late at that point and they just try and get their kid to 18, but because I truly believe it is never too late.
It
And
really isn't.
that's
Yeah.
what I wanted to help.
We hear these stories all the time of people saying, oh, I wish I'd had these tools when my kids were younger. And the amazing thing about humans is we have so much capacity for forgiveness, to learn new relational skills and tools. And I've heard of coaches telling me about families that they've worked with grown children, children in their 30s and 40s, that they're able to repair relationships with. And so, gosh, I just love the work that you're doing, Kim. Amazing. When you came into the program, what shifted for you personally in your own family?
I don't think I knew or realized how parents, I mean, I knew it was important for me to talk to my child. I knew it was important to recognize their feelings, but what I didn't realize was the depth to which we are the emotional barometers for our children the first 7 years of their lives at least. And how the way we attune, the way we use our emotional language, the way we identify with our stress gets, put directly, written directly onto the way that our kids learn things. And I didn't, I wish I knew. I wish I had known. But the reality is we only can go forward, right? There's no point there may be point in looking at the way we parented in the past to acknowledge and then move through, learn better, and do better for our kids. And I truly believe that we have to evolve from a place of parenting over our children to with our children, and especially as they go through adolescence, to be able to give them choice where we can, but also have some structure of non-negotiables in place. And my youngest two at this point, the only two that are at home, are almost 16 and 18 years of age. And I have to say, so I've become more conscious. They've been with me the longest, I guess, as I've practiced this.
Right.
And, I will say that, their understanding of what I do and our relationship is not you would think of the typical parent-child relationship would be at 16 and 18. That doesn't mean we don't have our struggles, but I am very clear and understand when I'm being triggered. And I know how to work through that as a direct result of the work that I've done through Jai and that I coach other parents. And coaching other parents, let me just say this. We teach what we most need to learn. I think that is very, very true. And every parent that I work with, I learn from. I learn, it's like, yeah, either that was me, at one point, and, I'm so proud of myself for the learning I've done and the growth that I've had. Or, there's just a situation that they're in that I have been in at one point or another. And I feel that I can help them, support them and encourage them in the process of their own growth. So
Yeah, there's
it's
so much
really
guilt.
relevant.
I think that especially for parents who are coming to this work with older children, you pointed at it a bit, and I could really feel it in my system. Speaking to that, I wish I knew, I wish I had. And I think that it's really important for anyone watching to really, put some parentheses around, this promise, it can get better. And I think that there's such a sense of pride and accomplishment, more so even when you're able to redirect a relationship with your kids, right, into a more collaborative, positive, loving, cooperative frame when it wasn't that before. This is the work. This is what we're here to help parents do. What
Yeah.
would you say to that?
I would say this. So I had this quote downloaded to me a couple of years ago, and I think this is a really appropriate moment to share this with you. And that is this: I believe that our children come through us, not for us, except for the lessons that they reflect to us during their journey in an effort to grow us up along the way. I truly believe that of course, our children are our greatest teachers, but that we have the opportunity to grow ourselves up through parenting. And I think that's going to become a normal knowledge that we'll know, but it isn't there yet. And we are writing on the next generation. Our grandkids could be brought up in a much different environment than we have been, than our kids have been.
Yeah, such a ripple effect. I was talking to my mom about this just yesterday. She was saying, she's a newspaper editor, so she's actually editing some of our content, and she's just blown away, right? And reflecting a lot on her own childhood and my childhood. It's brought up amazing conversations. She was saying, gosh, I just wish everyone could have this. I said, but Mom, there's such a ripple impact, because when one family starts communicating in that way, actually everyone in their sphere notices. And there's these little tiny ripples of impact. I've even noticed in our home that, friends of my kids' parents will say, huh, feels a little different over here. What are you doing? And so, it really is that, one family at a time creates massive seismic change in their community, generationally, all of it. It's such important, beautiful work.
Yeah, I've been blessed to be able to do some, in fact, I've got one this evening, presentations through our public school systems for parents and students in middle school and high school. And to be able to touch people through presentation is also, I think, important work to do. Coaching one-on-one is absolutely my favorite thing to do, but to be able to speak about this in public with people, again, majorly creates that ripple effect as well, gaining awareness of this.
How have you been able to, you just mentioned you work with families one-on-one, you do presentations. I think I've read that you've done some group programs. How have you been able to grow your business so successfully over the last 5 years?
I think first and foremost, it's passion and feeling that I'm on purpose. Second, it's continuous getting out in front of people and talking about this topic, because I think one of the biggest challenges can be, just as you and I mentioned a few minutes ago, I didn't even know this was a thing. So it's raising awareness. That is something that's been really important to me. I happen to write a newspaper column and have the ability to affect people on a larger scale. That's helped my business for sure. But also, I think it definitely has taken time and energy and word of mouth and working with people and those people talking about it as well. So these are all avenues. It's definitely didn't happen overnight. I just recently left my job to be able to coach full time, and I've got a book coming out. I think that will contribute to the growth of my sphere and my ability to coach parents. So these are all things. It's work, but it is, when it's your passion, it's not that hard.
It really, and I really love what you just shared, because building a, reputable, highly integrous, values driven business, it takes time. It is not an overnight thing. And what I share with our coaches, when I'm doing business training or marketing training, is like one baby step after another. One client becomes three clients become four, and that might take 6 months. But with consistent small actions over time, you can create a business that looks like whatever you want it to look like, whether that's, your side gig that you do what so you can pick up your kids at school, or you want the big empire and you're, doing talks and hosting workshops and writing books and all that. Really, it's all possible. It just take a little patience. Trust me, I've been at it for 11 years. I know.
Patience, and again, being on purpose. And I think when
Yeah.
someone is really called to this work, they don't give up in the process of it. They keep taking those small steps, and they find the encouragement that they need along the way. And that's another thing I love about Jai. I'm excited about our upcoming event in
Yeah.
May. I feel so much, it's so nice to be able to be connected with other people. I don't know anyone in my everyday life that has gone through Jai, but you can feel the closeness and almost just bonding atmosphere when we do those conferences. So I love that we've continued to be able to have that togetherness, and continue to grow each other, and have you at the helm to help us do that. So I appreciate you, Kiva.
Yeah, community is, 90% of our students are women, and women are wired for community.
Yeah.
It would be so hard to do this on our own, and it's so much better and more fun and easier when we are all connected, and as I say, rowing the boat in the same direction. And this direction happens to be creating more peace in the world. So I think we're all rowing pretty hard these days.
Right. Never has it been more needed, right?
Exactly. Well, if someone's watching this and considering perhaps joining us here at Jai, what advice would you give them?
I think you have to listen to that inner voice, and it will lead you, if you're meant to go to Jai. And I mean, I don't regret, and I know this absolutely has been my purpose. So if you feel called to that same thing, take that step.
Thank you so much, Kim. And for people who are watching who are potentially interested in your services in working with teenagers, older children, young adults, how can they reach you?
They can reach it to me at my website, which is reallifeparentguide.com.
Yourlifeparentguide.com. Awesome, Kim. Thank you so much. I'm so pleased for you. I hope you're proud of yourself for all the success that you're having.
Thank you,
Pleased for
Kiva.
you. You're welcome.